Good morning, good morning, good morning. Fingers crossed, 10 of them and all 10 toes that, people can hear us today, Marcus, because now I'm hyper vigilant on that. It's on the top of my mind and, just a little terrified that we're just going to talk to ourselves again. But hey, who cares? It's all good.
It's
going to
great.
be a good conversation regardless.
Yeah,
That's it.
no doubt.
We're manifesting the audio working and tech working fluidly. And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Grow. We've got a dynamic show for you today. A wonderful guest. He's going to pour into you at a very high level. He's gonna ruffle some feathers potentially in the best way possible. He's going to give you a little motivation. And yet we are going to hear from one of the dynamic leaders in our business, Mr. Kyle Evans. Let's always start. Hey, foundation, right? Foundation first.
Hey guys, scrolling at the bottom of your screen, and usually, we bring the guest in later, but this dude is just such a amazing human and bold coach. We figured that he could be here as well, and I kind of want to do something different, Marcus. We have our bold law that is you can't please everyone. It's out of this new bold, and since we have a bold coach guest, Ray, tell us what this means, man. What does you can't please everyone mean to you?
That means so much to me personally. I'm so glad that we're kicking it off with that because I'm a high I personality, coupled with now a very high D personality. I think as I've gotten like more old and senile, but I want everybody to like me. I really do. And I used to be like so offended and upset and self-conscious when I would think about like if I said something that people wouldn't like or, I would do something that would make people look at me in a certain way. And as I've gotten older, what I've realized is like if the people that I truly care about, that I truly want to like me, can see the authentic me and know really who I am at my heart, then everybody else is irrelevant, man. And the second I think I stopped worrying about like the population en masse and started worrying about the right people, the folks that are going to have the biggest impact on my life, is when I started to feel just so much more comfortable in my own skin and so much more comfortable with the life that I was living. And I think in such a social media based world, it's so easy to get caught up in like the outside chatter. You stop worrying about what other people think and you start focusing on pleasing the people that you love and care about. Life gets so much simpler, man. So that's what that means to me.
I love that. Now, Ray, hold on one second. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now the remix is back. Guys, we have a great show planned. We have a secret special guest for you. Marcus, introduce our guest today, man.
Yeah, you'll never guess who it may be. CEO and founder of Coastline Real Estate. We actually have the privilege of having a significant other on with us next week. You better be in tune for that one. He also is focusing on vacation rentals, developments. He's a bowl coach, K.W. instructor, former TL, ATL, PC, and father to the most beautiful girl on this planet. Her name is Charlotte Nicole. Please welcome to your screen, Mr. Ray Frazier. What's going on, brother?
What up, gentlemen?
Time ever.
Hey, big shocker. I was thinking about like trying to find a mask real quick. I'm like, can I throw a little curveball at y'all? I've got a Santa hat right there, and I'm like, I don't have the stamina or the endurance to go run over there and come back in time.
Well, give him a little bit of extra love today, because Ray, what time is it at your location right now? Is it 6 a.m.?
6 a.m. Yes, sir. Yeah.
6 a.m.
on the West Coast. Still dark outside. No sunshine just yet.
Don't complain. We know where you live. All right. He's in San Diego, so he is not allowed to say anything negative. That being said, though, we woke up extra early, is hanging out with us. Ray, I appreciate you being here, man. I really, really do. You took it upon yourself to grace one of my trainings with your presence, and you dropped some bombs in that training to the point where I still get comments from the agents that were in that. So I appreciate you, and I know that everybody listening is going to have the same impact today. If you don't mind, sir, give everybody like a quick 30 to 60 seconds of just how you got where you are, maybe where you came from, whatever you want to highlight. And then we're going to jump into what we talked about today.
Yeah. So I've been in the industry 11 years, which is crazy to think about. But when you look at the hairline, you could see like, yeah, that's about 11 years worth of stress and nonsense. You guys know what I'm talking about too. Tighten that up real quick. One of the things I want to make sure that I get a chance to shout out is I had a chance to take bold with Marcus twice. And so much of who I am and where I am, I can attribute to those experiences with you, which kind of leads me to, the willingness to be open, the willingness to be transparent about my story and be vulnerable about how I grew up. Very, very humble household, single mom, never met my biological dad. And so grew up with a very different mindset around what success looks like and what success could be. And I think our vision in our family was, you get what you get, and you be happy and thankful for it. You got a roof over your head and food on your plate, you're good. And I think surrounding myself with folks in a bold room that changed my mindset and allowed me to think bigger is really what got me where I am today. So 11 years in the industry. I've been in really every role within the K.W. ecosystem. K.W. had a huge hand in changing my perspective on what life could be. Very proud and happy to say that we now own a couple different companies, family-owned companies within the real estate ecosystem. I'm super passionate about the industry and what it's done for me and my family. And now as a bold coach and instructor, looking to build a legacy by helping others to experience the same kind of success and the same kind of breakthrough moments that I've had within the real estate industry is something that I'm continuing to charge forward on this chapter of my career.
No big deal.
Yeah. Just my resume, it takes about half up the show because I'm so awesome. That's okay. We'll take it, man. That's exactly why you're here.
I'll tighten it up.
I have the distinct advantage. Kyle has only met you at the point where y'all connected, and I got to meet you, man, early in your career. And I say this with the utmost respect, and I want everybody to hear it the correct way I'm going to say it. I got to see Ray truly mature into a business owner, a true leader. First day we ever met, Ray was very rookie, very just like, and energy was there and the passion was there. And now, man, seeing you focus and really dive into growing and taking that energy and not just letting it just be sporadic, but being focused, brother, you're not only has your success in business elevated and changed dramatically, your personal life, brother, like you were one of the happiest people I know behind the scenes. You got a great relationship with your family. And like you said, family owned businesses. So not only are you living, right, you're also working with, and that's not always the easiest thing to do. So we could talk about a script. We could talk about a system and a tactic. And then, we thought it might be cool to talk about being an entrepreneur and also how you keep the focus of family and work and that balance, because you can't please everybody. So how do you choose, right? And how do you keep that focus? So let's dive into it, man. When it comes to being an entrepreneur and also knowing that the reason I'm doing all this over here is for these folks and for this life, how do you approach these new ventures that you've taken on, your schedule, kind of anything that you want to share with us?
So much. And man, the first thing I want to do again is just give you a ton of credit to helping me get to where I'm at. And one of the things that I will emphasize is I truly believe that we're the byproduct of the people that we surround ourselves with, right? When you look at where I am and who I am, it's because I've been able to pull from people like Marcus Heflin and David Bernal and Kevin Lane and Brian Kane. And I've watched and I've learned from so many amazing, not just business owners, dude, but just incredible men, family men, good humans. And you guys have inspired me to think in a way that I wasn't really allowed or taught to think growing up, thinking with abundance, thinking that you can own your own business and be successful. The mindset shift, I think, is ultimately what propels people to most success. Just believing that you can do something is half the battle, if not 90%. And if you don't, if there's doubt, it's really tough to overcome. And so we can talk about a ton of stuff in terms of the balance. But one of the things that you hit on the head is that you got to have your focus in the right places. Mm-hmm. And for me, the thing that I'm focused on every single day is making sure that I am the father that I have always dreamt of being. And Marcus, like you've literally watched me grow up over the last 5-7 years. And that was always at the core of where my heart was. Like who I wanted to be was a good present dad. And so whether it's starting a new business, expanding a current business, everything that I do is with the sole focus waking up every day and making sure that I am providing my daughter with the life that candidly, I only got to dream of. So when you've got that kind of driving force and you've got that kind of focus and support and people that are literally just willing to like grab you by the hand and say, come this way, young buck. I had the energy. I think I had the personality, but I had no focus. I had no vision. I had no real concrete plan of what I was going to do. I just knew I wanted to do something cool and something big. And again, huge kudos to you and some other amazing individuals that have helped get me there. I think channeling that focus on a concrete plan is what's helped me get here.
Man, you said several things though. Kyle, I'm going to ask you if you can finish this statement for me. When you know your why, you know your
way.
You know your way, right? And Ray knew his why, so he found his way through that why. When you have an energetic young buck, in his words, and when you have an energetic guy like him, and with the charisma and the passion, the whole thing. Sometimes it's hard to chip away at that ice sculpture and get them vulnerable enough to where they actually hit like an emotional thing to get that motivation. And we were lucky enough to do that in the bold room with you. There was only one time really when he got super emotional in each room, and that was going back to it was going back to when you were talking about your future fatherhood, right? And when you were talking about what you wanted to be. And I'll never forget that, man. It was a connection that'll last forever. And I'll also give you kudos because when you started maturing and when you started growing and you started becoming who we get to hang out with now, thank you for the kind words. And yet, buddy, it's never on the coach, in my opinion. It's always on the person receiving the coaching. You decided to be open-minded. You decided to take the next steps. So I want to defer, my friend, because you chose to grow and you made us all better and everybody you've impacted better. And that's what we're looking for all of our listeners and everybody that's going to see this show and hear from Ray to always take in. When you're ready, that's the growth. It's not necessarily who you're listening to or anything of that nature. We're just inviting you to always be open-minded and receiving what you need in that moment and being receptive to that.
Have you ever seen, Marcus, have you ever seen a like a painting class where there's an art teacher or somebody and they're like teaching you how to paint and everyone has their own thing and they're painting? You said something that I want to make sure people understand. It's not the coach. It's the person receiving the instruction, right? It's the person receiving the wisdom and then applying it to their own self and creating their own artwork. Because in those painting classes, you can see some that take and listen and then deliver what I could call preschool painting. And then, and then you have that could deliver like better than the instructor, right? But here's the difference. I'm not just talking about output. That person who delivered the preschool painting, maybe they've never painted before in their life. And maybe that time of taking that coaching helped them actually start something that could become something great later. It is never us, right? It's you and your journey, but you got to be willing to take it. You got to be willing to try, regardless of what the outcome is.
Yeah.
You have to be open to the instruction. And I think, Ray, if I may say, Marcus, there seems to be a theme, and it's something that's been hitting me as Ray's talking, because this is episode like 149, and we've had a bunch of awesome people on. When we have these awesome people on, there's like three things that they all seem to have in common, man. One is a vision. And I don't necessarily mean for everybody a big, huge vision. I mean a vision of where they desire to be, who they want to be, right? Ray's talking about, hey, man, being a great dad, a great family person has always been my vision. It's his driving force. That has spurred off into other things, right? All these other people, they have a vision of who they desire to be, what they desire their life to look like. And then one of the things that Ray said that I love is essentially accountability. And guys, I don't mean accountability like, hey, I'm checking in and make my 100 contacts. I mean, Ray said, dude, I'm here, but this is not the hand I was dealt. I was born into a humble household. If we had a roof and food, that was called winning. And he decided, hey, man, I am going to take my life in my own hands and I'm going to build something bigger. That's accountability, guys. And then the third piece is he is smart enough to surround himself with other people He's open to feedback. He's open to coaching. He's open to reach out to these people who are doing these three things at a high level. And guys, when you put those together, you get people like Ray, who's a young buck, as he says, who's absolutely dominating in all these areas of life.
I love it, man. And you said changing the mindset you were never taught growing up. And that's exactly what I was going into. So when you think about that, buddy, you've got your why, you've got the passion, you've got this energy, and you surround yourself with people. How do you constantly search out things you don't know?
I subscribe to the belief that I'm always in class. And that's something that we talk a lot about in our team. When I say I'm always in class, I'm looking for the learning opportunity in every moment, even the mundane. I'm like, what can I learn from this? What can I pick up from this? And even if it's nothing like profound, it's like, can I grow a little bit? Can I learn from every environment and every circumstance I find myself in? And we practice and we preach that to everybody in our world. Always be in class, which is to say, always be learning. And I can't tell you, man, so much of my business and my career has been built around, I think, the willingness that I had to learn, right? I had to go real internal and get real comfortable being vulnerable, talking about my background and really asking for help. I tell people all the time, one of the best bits of advice that I got and one of the most profound moments in my life was when somebody that came to me and said, you have no idea how many people would help you if you just asked. And at every turning, every critical moment in my life and in my career, I think, candidly, prior to Bold, I was in a lot of ways taught, you shoulder it, you keep your mouth shut, you just power through. That's what I was taught. And I think putting myself in rooms and environments with different people who were willing to be vulnerable put me in a safe place that allowed me to say, hey, I'm game for this. If it gets me to where I want to go, I'm game for this. And a ton of credit to my mom. The way that I grew up, I grew up in a very loving household, but I give her so much credit because she had to look forward and just put one foot in front of the other so that I could get to where I am and look up. And I think that's what I'm striving to do with my daughter. My apex is her base camp. She will do things that I can't even fathom at this point. But I think the willingness to put myself in a room and see other people get vulnerable gave me permission to do the same thing so that I can go build a life that candidly, was not in my family's cards. Like we didn't think the way that I think now, and being able to pass that on by always being in class, by always looking for opportunities to grow, by always looking for the next opportunity to excel. I think that's something that I'm super proud of. And I encourage anybody to take that approach and just always look for the opportunity to become a better version of yourself. I think that's such an
Marcus, you were writing it down. I hope you got it correct because he said it so eloquently. What was like? Go ahead.
I mean, verbatim in regards to his mom, she had to look forward so I could look up. All right. And then number two, for his daughter, my apex is her base camp. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, but those are great. I was going to say,
yeah, dude. Ooh, there's more bombs.
There's more, man. There's more. He's just Chick-fil-A wisdom nuggets today, man. Just dropping it this morning to get us started. It was, you never know how much people are willing to help until you ask or something. You said it's so great. And I was just like, wow, what a
It's not my quote. Not my quote. You have no idea. Yeah. It's now pages. That's awesome. Yeah. You have no idea how many people would help you if you just asked. And look, as somebody that is, maybe too proud at times, sure, that's not always easy. Even going so far as, in a vulnerable moment, asking my better half for grace and patience, asking for help and saying, babe, like I'm having a tough time right now. We're struggle busting. My mindset's not where it needs to be. The willingness to go get vulnerable and ask people to help you. It is such an amazing feeling when you're able to act with that kind of humility and you see how many people from the genuine place in their heart will say, come on, I got you, whatever you need. I got you. And that it's such a beautiful way to live when you have that epiphany and you realize how many people are out there.
Man, there's this is going to be me going a little off script, shock and awe. Is it just as far as men,
wouldn't have it anyway.
As far as men, as far as husbands, as far as fathers, there's a few things that I have worked very hard on and been coached by my wife in several arenas on, right? One, in every bold room, I tell everybody, as you walk through these doors, there's a few things that are not allowed. One is limiting beliefs. Those stay outside, because in here we dream, right? We think big. We know that we can get there. Number two is pride. Leave that at the door as well. And also leave that ego out there, please, because those don't serve you. And you just said it. We all get a little prideful sometimes. We all get a little, I want to do this on my own. I want to look good and be right. It's human nature. As a man, I can only speak from my perspective. Learning how to swallow that pride, learning how to take criticism, learning also how to apologize. Those three things are very hard to get to a place where you're comfortable doing it consistently. And yet what I have found, you gentlemen can resonate with however you've experienced it. The better I've gotten at apologizing, the better I've gotten at listening and taking in critique, even if it's a kick in the stomach, just like, oh my gosh, like that hurt. I need to go for a walk real quick. All right.
Walk it off.
Okay. You're right. And I can't really combat it. The more you're able to do that, the people in your world, significant other or not, just anything, they are more attracted to you. They want to do more business with you. They want to do more life with you. They want to, be tighter, because I believe that develops a layer of trust, maybe a layer of camaraderie. Have you experienced that as you've been grinding and coming up, right?
The apologizing thing, I think, is something that I'm again super proud when it comes to ego. I think we've all got one, right? We got into an industry with a 91% fail rate. You got to have an ego to look at that statistic and be like, yeah, I could do this. And yet healthy ego is one thing, and then egotistical is a very different thing. And I think that the willingness to apologize genuinely, right? It's not just sorry, and then you go run the other direction to avoid any other words that you might have to say. To genuinely slow down and pause and say, look, I'm sorry. It allows people, I think, the opportunity to exist within your world, to feel that connection. When you think about, one of the things that we're most proud of within our team and our organization is that sense of community and camaraderie, and that sense of genuine connection is so prevalent in what we do because of that willingness to be authentic, and to, as much as we push ourselves and as much as we're always learning, we're always, also willing to be vulnerable. We're also very comfortable checking that pride at the door. And when we make a mistake, we admit it. When we have something to apologize for, we apologize, and it's genuine. It's not just, word vomit. It is authentic. It's real. And I think one of the things that I love about our company, K.W. I'm talking about, is that there's so much genuine heart in it, that it gives everybody that environment to go be comfortable, be the best authentic version of themselves, and continue to grow in the pursuit of being the best version of yourself.
I couldn't agree more, man. I couldn't agree more. And when you think about your growth and the maturity in all kinds of relationships, being an entrepreneur, and then also having this family that you care so deeply about, how do you find balance and counterbalancing, right? How do you create systems, or how do you create purpose behind the bigger arenas of your life versus just business?
That's such an amazing dynamic question. And you've got me going just super internal. One of the things that I've continued to discover about myself, I think my superpower is I'm a dreamer. And the quote that I started using is, I never let a little reality get in the way of a big dream. One of the things that I've learned, you can steal that, put that one on a postcard.
Calm down,
yeah,
calm down now. Calm down.
Good.
Say that again.
Good, right?
Say it again.
I never let a little reality get in the way of a big dream. And so one of the things that I've discovered about myself is that, for better or for worse, guys, like, I'm always going. And I found myself, like, when I would get an opportunity to either interview or network or mastermind or just have a conversation with, oh, that's cool. Look at, dude, technology these days. That's incredible. When I would have an opportunity to converse with somebody who was doing extraordinary things, one of the things that I would ask them, pretty consistently without realizing it, is like, how do you turn off? When do you turn off? Like, what does that look like for you? And what I found is that I would ask that question because I didn't personally know how to turn off. I didn't have a lot of the balance that I was really seeking, because it's constantly going, dude. Like that, my brain is just always looking for, how do we improve this? How do we go tackle this? What is this cool thing that we can do over here? And, I give Shaylee so much credit for allowing me and teaching me to slow down and be in the moment and just enjoy not just the fruits of our labor, but even just like the slow time, when I had to give myself permission, I think, to slow down and just turn off. And it's hard. I think as somebody who takes a lot of pride in being an entrepreneur, I love that my brain is pretty constantly going. But one of the things that our daughter, I think, has forced us to do that has been the most beautiful, peaceful experience of my life as we lose Marcus, like, she has slowed everything down. She has created a world that supersedes any aspect of my business. And she's been that calming force in our life that I think we needed in ways that we didn't even realize until she got here. And so I'm really, really proud that when we're on family time, in family mode, there's no fire in our business. That doesn't exist. That's not real. We will get to work when we're ready to clock back in. But that balance is something that we've gotten so intentional with. And I learned it a lot, candidly, from David Bernal. He is, family man of family men. And when he's with his family, that's his priority. He's got that. He's done. Brian Kane, very similar setup. So I think it starts with a willingness.
I can barely get to David Bernal, not even about business when he's with his family. Even as a friend, he's like, sorry, bro, barriers are up.
And you know what? It's a testament. Ray is a byproduct of Bernal's teachings, right? He's learned a ton. All three of us are tight with Bernal. Like, we could all call him a friend and business colleague. All of us, if we get rejected by him, we are completely understanding of that and know exactly where he is.
Isn't that cool, man? Yeah.
There's no animosity. There's no beef. There's no, oh, dude, what's up? Like, nothing. It's, oh yeah, my bad.
It's literally like, oh, I messed up. Sorry. How dare I call? And I think I never realized that. What a cool aha.
Yeah, well, it's also, it goes back to the bold law. Like, we can't please everybody, and unspoken expectations will lead to unmet expectations. If people know, when I'm with my family, I'm with my, don't try me, right? Then they actually, once you teach them that and coach them up on that's the type of person and how they should approach you, it's game over, man. And I love what you said, but you said it without saying it in these words. You even found counterbalance in your personal relationship as far as your future. Like, you were one version and you found somebody that could offset, you've got wonderful strengths, and with those strengths come some blind spots, just like everyone else. And your significant other has the strengths in those and understands your strengths and how to help you grow into them even better. She's not trying to change you. She's saying, hey, you could do it even better if you just took a breath.
Yeah. I think that's something that I've been really intentional with, and something that I think we should be really, really focused and purposeful on is surround yourself with folks that fill those blind spots, that fill those gaps. We've got such a dynamic team, and yet at our core, we all share the same values, but we're so dramatically different because, this person's skill set is such a different contrast and complement to my skill set. And then Shaylee is she's superwoman. I said in 2019, man, to a mentee that was in my coaching program at the time, like, when Shaylee realizes how good she can be, that woman is dangerous. And the craziest thing, dude, is like, she still hasn't realized it. Like, she's still just like, when she figures out how good she can be, watch out. But she's such an amazing compliment. And one thing that I got to give her credit in this format, she allows me to go dream, and she's next to me no matter how outrageous those dreams are, pushing me and encouraging me. And I think having that kind of support and environment for anybody is so important. Like you got to have the people in your corner next to you that are allowing you the opportunity to go dream and think outside of what your circumstances might allow. So,
it's almost like no one succeeds alone.
It's
almost like that. Almost. Yeah.
We had a guest on yesterday, and he said, Kyle helped me out. He said, defer the compliment.
defer the power, right? He's given the power to his people. He's given the compliment. He's given the grace. He's given the power, like you said, to his people in his world.
And we sat here and listened to Ray just do that for about 2 straight minutes, you know, to the people that have helped him come up. So, hey, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to end the show today, and yet I think Ray has more to offer us. So we're going to bring him back at some point to pour into us at another level. Ray, if you don't mind, put your contact info on Facebook below, and we want to make sure that they can reach out to you. You're in the San Diego area, the greater area of San Diego.
Yeah.
And man, if y'all have any opportunities for visiting, want to connect with Ray in any regard, man, he's somebody you want in your world. Ray, we always ask our guests to end the show with some parting words, a quote you live by, and that you've given me almost 2.5 pages of notes already, so I appreciate you. Do you have anything left in the tank that you want to share with everybody?
I want to make sure that I end with just a ton of gratitude and kudos to you two, showing up every morning. Y'all did this on Thanksgiving, I believe, right? Every morning and pouring into this community. I think it's something that we look at as bold coaches, as entrepreneurs, as real estate agents, in awe, in admiration. And if nobody said it this week, I am so appreciative, and I have so much admiration for you two and for what you do. I can't say thank you enough for how you continue to help our community grow and how you continue to help these individuals within the community grow as people. The legacy that you two are building and continue to leave is extraordinary. You should be incredibly proud of yourselves. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it today.
He's deferring the power right before our eyes again, Marcus.
Thank you for saying that, baby. Thank you so much, Ray. Thank you, bud. No, sincerely, man. Thank you for that. We really appreciate you, and thank you for your time, buddy. We'll see you again soon. Guys, have a great Thursday. See y'all.
Cheers.